Hey, friends, welcome to today's Daily Cup of Encouragement. I had an interesting conversation yesterday. The gist of it was that we wonder what history will record about these days. 100 years from now, what will be reported about the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020? We've heard more about the Spanish flu of 1918 in recent months than anyone has heard ever. Because 24-hour news cycles and instant information did not exist in 1918, most people had no idea what was going on outside their own communities. I wonder if this worldwide pandemic that has paralyzed us over the past few months will be remembered as an interesting footnote used to compare numbers of plagues throughout history. I also wonder what's being written right now by theologians, philosophers, and poets that will show up in future books. I read a book a while back in which the author said he wanted his book to stand the test of time. I'm guessing that, other than his family and friends, no one could even find a copy of that book, nor would they want to. I think the written words that last are most likely composed by people who are not trying to influence history, but are just trying to share inspiring truth with the people within their circles of influence. William Cowper was a friend of John Newton, the author of arguably the most well-known hymn of all time, Amazing Grace. Cowper lived from 1731 to 1800. His hymn text for "Oh, for a Closer Walk with God" was written to be sung by a particular congregation. I doubt that he ever considered someone would read these words over 200 years later and be inspired by them. Oh, for a closer walk with God, a calm and heavenly frame, a light to shine upon the road that leads me to the Lamb. But I did read them, and I am inspired. Basil of Caesarea lived most of his life around 330 to 379 in an area that is modern-day Turkey. He is known in the Eastern Orthodox Church as one of the Cappadocian Fathers. Over 1,600 years ago, he wrote the following words: "Pray without ceasing, not in mere words, but in so living, united to God in your affections and thoughts, that your life shall be one long and continued prayer." Basil wrote those words to a specific group of people, and I imagine that he never gave a thought to his words being repeated almost 1,700 years later. But I read them this morning and was reminded that we are too often guilty of making prayer an activity to be scheduled rather than a conversational relationship to be lived. These words that I am either writing or speaking right now will not likely be seen beyond the next few days. I'm just sharing them to encourage you to be amazing today, my friend.